Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. We are today looking at Mad Games Tycoon 2. Now, Mad Games Tycoon is a game I played on this channel quite a bit. I think I did like 3 series of videos that never ended. Yes, that is something I do. So, Mad Games Tycoon 2 is the follow-up to that. It is a sequel, and it is a very different game. So if you go back and look at the other game, so those were like in 2016, 2017, the videos, and you would see a game that was good. I enjoyed it for what it was, but I never thought that it was like better than a Game Dev Tycoon. Okay, it's on the same style. Okay, they are game development simulations. It's the same style. And this one, Mad Games Tycoon 2, it takes a lot of the elements that made Mad Games Tycoon 1 work and add a lot of things on top of it. For me, this is the best game development game out there. For a few reasons, but I'll explain the main one, and I think it is diversity that makes this one stand out over any other. And that was also the thing that made it stand the first one out from Game Dev Tycoon 2. But let's stop talking and let's jump into it, shall we? So the name is going to be Blue Comet of our company. For a good reason, this looks like a blue comet. There you go. If you follow me on Twitch and you actually caught a bit of those streams, this is what I do every time. Same thing, what I do every time. Get to France. And are we going in a legendary game or not? This is something I actually didn't think of before actually starting. I think, so legendary, in my opinion, is the way to play the game. Okay, I'll just say it. It is the way to play the game. Legendary difficulty. I'll go with that. But I'll explain why you should just start medium. Max hard. You could even go hard. Even on your first game, you could go hard, and you would have a good time. But we're going to go legendary, which means that I'm going to take RPG as a special genre, for a simple reason that I will explain whenever we have that situation that could arise. But anyway, yeah, 80 competitors. The main map, you could go with another one. As you can see, Sandbox is just a massive block. Don't go with that if you're not trying to do anything, if you're trying to really show the game. Same thing. So here, this is my character. Here you go, Chris Riso, which is my name, Christopher Riso. My real name, exactly. And here we will have a change. We will have a change in what we're going to do here. Actually, no, we can do it like that. There we go. Should I go all-rounder? I don't think I should. However, what I think I should do is get this, Workaholic. Yes, sir. So, I'm going to explain all of this. So, these are the skills in the game. So, you have 8 different skills. Game design, programming, graphic design, music and sound, marketing and support, game testing, hardware and engineering, and research. The main 4 for making a game: game design, programming, graphic design, and music and sound. Marketing and support is going to be important. All of these are important in their own way, okay? And I'll explain it in a bit. Not now. Whenever the situations arise, I'll explain which one of them actually is important for which role. But there you go. So you can see 3D models. It's basic, of course, the model, but it's not something that matters. The model does matter, just like in Football Manager 2022. Do you think that the faces are good? Well, you shouldn't. But it's not the thing that matters. So I'm going to disable that. Here we go. Alright, welcome to the game. First thing we do is stop the time and sell my car. There we go. That is the first thing we do. But welcome to the game. There you go. So this is how the game is on the world map. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 buildings. There you go. You have the first one unlocked. All the others have to be unlocked by using money, and that's a lot of money. 2.7. So the price scales with difficulty. So if you go with legendary game, this will cost 2.7. If you go normal game, it will cost about 1 million. And this one will cost 95,000-ish, and now 190 million, which is the biggest building. This one is the biggest. This one's the second biggest. This one the third biggest. Fourth biggest. Third smallest. The second smallest. And the smallest one, you start with that one. Exactly, it is 11 by 9 plus... plus 6 by 2. So, let's see exactly how much that is in terms of meters squared. 105, 111. Okay. So this one is 111 meters square. Yay. So let me show you what 111 meters square is. That is 110 meters square. Just that. This building is massive. It is about 663 square meters. See? So this building is massive. And in Legendary, you're gonna have to wait a bit to get it. I'm just saying, by the way, also, just to show, I have about 250 hours on the game, and I am enjoying it a lot. And the thing I enjoy most is building my rooms and doing my games. And playing it in Legendary difficulty. But I'll show you why. So, the game is still in early development, by the way. But still. So, development. Let's go. Let's show things. So this is how you build a room. I already kind of showed it. You can see a few things. So the price that the room will cost when you build it. The overcrowding. So there's an interesting and important thing in this one game. You have a limit of the number of people that you can have in a room according to its size. Makes sense, you know. But if you look at a Games Tycoon, you were stuck on 1 in the first building, then 5 in the second, and then 7, I think, in the third building. And here, you can do whatever you want in size. You can actually get this size of room and get 17 people in. But let's not do that. A size has to be at least 3 by 3, so a room has to be at least this. And as you can see, that holds 1 person in. But what we want right now is actually 5. Overcrowding from 5. So we have to place a door wherever we want in these spots all around. The best spot is here or here. So it's these two right here. You can choose whatever you want. It's not that important here. I prefer having it there myself. Oh wait, it wasn't on the rock. It was on the rock. I prefer having it there myself, but it's not that important. There we go. So that's the room, and here is also something different. This is how you build a room. So you have to furnish it yourself. Yeah, that's right. You have to do your own rooms. You can do them however you want. And that was also an aspect of my Games Tycoon 1 that I thought was better than Games Tycoon. You have freedom. So there you go. Also, there is a thing, you can press T to activate snapping. So snapping, well, it's activated by default, but I want to deactivate it. Snapping is just using some tiles on the ground to set your, well, your computers or everything, all the items. But I want to snap that off so that you can freely do whatever you want with it. Look at that. Just pressing T. Then snapping for rotation is not something that I use myself. I keep it on, always. That snapping for rotation is just this, as you can see. So there you go. I'm just gonna do it like that. And then you are trying to get it on the pixel. Close to the walls on the pixel. It is a bit imprecise. And you don't have to go exactly on the pixel, but still. Go the closest you can. Same, go the closest you can here. So that's 2. We're looking for 2 more. Because it will overcrowd at 5. If you get 5 people in, it will be overcrowded. So there you go, that's 4. Let's get a heater in. There are 2 important stats that you have to keep in mind. Cold, well, heat, you know, and boredom. So the first stat for cold, because right now I'm going to just press this at the bottom to show you cold, you know. There you go. This shows you the tiles in green that are heated. As long as there is a bit of green, it is heated. So if you place one here, it'll reach all 4. But the important thing to note is that having 2 actually activates a larger area around it. For some reason. I don't know exactly, but boom. There you go. As you can see here, all of it is in green. Easy. But you could even have it be farther back, like here, and everything would still be green. So with that, there are also 3 other things that are mandatory, basically. Water dispenser, coffee maker, and medicine cabinet. These 3 are mandatory in almost every room, but keep in mind, they have a cost. Not just in purchase price, but also a monthly cost. As you can see, $50 every month for all 3 of them. Oh, that one's 40, but 50, 40, 50. So it'll cost you $140 to get all of these. The heater's also $50. Trash can doesn't actually cost you anything and can be used by the people inside. Same thing for the plants. Any plant of these 3 gives also another bonus for some people that have a trait that requires a plant. Also, so the other stat, boredom, it's quality of the office actually. So if you place something like a carpet, which when you go over or when you hover over it shows you interior design on 3 stars, what does it mean? It means that the range of the green for quality will be quite large. But right now, I don't really need that. All I need is a level 2. This is a level 2 in interior design. There are a few items that give you level 5 interior design, although they're these guys. All of the awards or the records. So a golden record is having 1 million sales, a platinum is 5 million sales on a game, and a diamond is 10 million sales on a game. Game of the Year award, Developer of the Year, all of these awards are given, well, almost all of them except the Trendsetter, but all of these awards here, the 5, are given at the end of the year on month 11, week 4. This is the Mad Games Convention, as they call it in the game. Well, no, not the Mad Games Convention, the Mad Games Awards, sorry. Mad Games Convention is something else that will come in month 6, week 4. Well, month 7, week 1, but at the end of month 6, week 4. As you can see here, by the way, look at when we're starting. 1976. Yeah. So that was the first room we had to do, a development room. There you go. What are the others that you have to do? A lounge. Oh, a lounge. Okay. Yes, a lounge. So let me show you back up. There you go. This is a lounge. 4x3 is big enough. You don't need much bigger than that. I'll place the door over to the right side. And we're setting some things up. In this room, you're basically going to have all the items that give you some motivation on your employees, because that's another stat that you have to keep in mind. Motivation of your employees. The CEO has always 100% motivation, and that's my guy right now. Always going to have 100 in motivation, no matter what. But other employees will have their motivation go down, which decreases the speed at which they work. And when it reaches a certain point, there is a risk that they will quit. So, in the employee settings, you can change the motivation recharge. So, motivation recharge is at a certain point, you're letting your employees go to the lounge to restore their motivation. And myself, I like to put that not at 80, because that's a bit high for me, but 75. So basically, whenever someone has 3/4 of their efficiency left, you get them back their quarter. Crunch time is forbidding employees from leaving a room after a certain point in the development of a game or any task. Normally it's a 90%, but basically they cannot take a break for those percentage that are left. You could say no crunch time, which is fine. You could do that. But myself, I like to put it on 95, which is very close to the end of a task, but still, like, everyone puts the work in whenever they're done with it. Whenever close to done with it. You can also change the breaks, which I like to do. I put on many breaks so that more people can leave at different times. Pressure, I don't move that. I don't move the pressure. I feel like that's a bit weird as a stat here. And there you go. So, let me fill that room with things that give motivation recharge. Basically, dart machines. That's a 3-star in motivation recharge. What does that mean? It means that it would recharge your motivation fully from 40% onwards. Every star is 20%. So if you look at the keyboard, that's a 5-star. So that would give you back everything, 100%, or close to it. But right now, with how I set things up, I don't need a keyboard. I'll just put a bit of diversity by putting in some arcade cabinets, getting them the closest possible, because again, snapping makes that possible to have more things in like that. See, this is thanks to snapping, because here I would never have 5 items like this, because these two would be separated by a mile. But not here, because I did do it myself. Same thing. Armchairs are things that regenerate motivation. The fridge isn't, but I just like to put one for the interior design. But armchairs are things that give you motivation back. But these only give 20%. So that would be a bit off. That wouldn't give them back full motivation. Armchair 2, though, does. It's a 2-star. And Armchair 3 actually is a 2-star as well for some reason. But I don't know why. It should be a 3-star. Because right now it doesn't show you any real difference. So why would you pay 1,000 more for chairs? No. So what I like to do is just putting many chairs. Basically here, all you need is that and heater. And a heater somewhere if you can put it. For some reason I can't. That is odd. I've always been able to put one. But apparently these guys are a bit... yeah, they're not cooperating as well as I would have liked. Wait. There is the chance that maybe it's gonna work. No. Okay, still not. Okay, fine. Normally then... maybe a bit of snapping without rotation would work. Putting that like this. So that I can put the heater behind it. There you go. That's the only time I'm going to use snapping for rotation. And now the room is good with the heat. It's not exactly good with the interior design, but how do you fix that? With my good boy, the carpet. Also, I forgot one thing that I really like in a room, okay? In every room, there should be a clock. 2. Look at the time. Yes, okay. And if you don't get why I said it that way, because you're not on my stream. Okay. Alright, toilets is the next room that you have to do. There you go, just 4x3 toilets. There you go. How do you do those? Well, you just put some toilets in. Yes, they are at a very high cost of 6,500. And as well, you cannot put toilets on their own. You have to put with it some wash basins, hand dryer, and because I like to fill a room every time with what it needs a heater. So there you go. A corridor, by the way, is not going to have the things that I want inside, but I don't care about that. There you go. So these two are now filled. Full interior design, full heat. Well, not full, but heat enough. And the last room you have to do is a research department. Now, I could put it here, but I won't. I will not put it here. Instead, I'll put it right here on a 3x4. Why? Because you can expand a room. You can use this to expand a room again, which I will do later. Not now, but later on, I will do that. So yeah, But right now, so I'm placing this one here so that I can again expand it like this, or put another room instead, which we'll see how it goes. I might have to extend it, I might have to change things, I don't know. It's gonna depend on how the legendary game goes. Boom. So this one is only 2 max on a 3x4. You can only have 2 max inside of that room. But what is research used for, you may ask? Well, I'll show you whenever I'm done with filling the room, okay? I'm just gonna fill it with all the things I want in it. There we go. Research. Boom, 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 boom. And tropical plant. Why not? Let's go tropical. Again, look at the time. I didn't put a trash can. Let me do that. I always forget about the trash can. So if ever I do forget it once, oh well. And the carpet. Placing it like this. There we go. So that's room finished. Now, first thing we are going to do now is go to the employee's job market. There's always, at the start of the game, at least a few people that can come in and help you. 19 points. Okay, so each individual in the game has a stat that can go to 100, as you can see by the gray bar. So you have the gray bar, that's a stat that can go to 100, and then you have all the other bars that can only go to 50. What's up with that? Because you have a specific job that is given to you in the game every time. Just one specific job, and you cannot move it at all. This is given at the start of the game, you cannot move it. Which means that everyone has a room that is specifically made for him. But you can still look at the other stats. Basically, as you can see, 10, 10, 10.2, 19.9 in graphic design, which is actually quite nice. It's close to mine. 18.9 in game testing, 38, which is the big stat in hardware and engineering, and 12 in research, which is quite bad. So, also, everyone has special traits, which I didn't actually really talk about. But so you have special traits that give you positive points, like this guy actually moves faster and is talented, so it means that he will learn faster in a training room, which will come later, not now, for sure. And then he's unlucky. Unlucky is a negative trait. You have a few of those, so there you go. Right now, this guy, even though he has a negative trait, will not impact the quality of a game, because I'm not going to use it for a game. I'm going to use him for research only. Because look at his stat in research. That's actually quite good. 19 points in research right now, that's okay. By a non-researcher. Remember, I'm on 20. I put myself on 20, so there you go. Also, my things is error-free, talented, workaholic, and efficient. I'm going to explain them. So error-free means that you will not create bugs in any of your games. Talented, as I said, faster learning. Workaholic means that the contract works, which I'm going to explain in a minute, are faster to complete. And efficient increases the speed of task by 10% for this character. So we are putting both of them in this room. So now you're like, wait, but didn't you say you wanted to do games? Why are you putting them in the research? Well, right now, doing games is kind of impossible, because we need to find features that will let you do games. The main one that you need is controller support. Without controller support, you cannot make a game on a game console. Research everything will just get everything done one after the other. So there you go. And now let me explain the contracts. So, commissioned work, whenever you press this thing, you have a bunch of stuff. You have updates and add-ons, which I won't talk about here. Engine, which I might talk about here if we have time. Maybe it's going to be in the second video. I don't know, because we're already 24 minutes deep. But, so we have commission work. And in commission work for a development room, you have short assignment and contract game. We're going to talk about both of these. But for now, short assignment is just doing a task that just uses technology. And so you have a workload a number of money that is given to you. If you miss it, you're going to actually give them a bit of money if you actually miss the deadline, which is marked right here. Workload is fine for this one. 4.2 is not too big. You can go all the way to 105 in workload if you are at a very high reputation with your clients here. Reputation with clients is a stat that increases from your contracts. So the more contracts you do, the more this stat will get up, and the more you'll get contracts that are going to be bigger. So it's a bit of a what is the name? Revolving valve? I don't remember. But anyway, yeah, that, and then you have contract games. They've changed the system a little while ago, not too far now, it's like a month ago. And I really like what they did with this, because now you have a lot more diversity. But basically, in the start of the game, you start with 4 different genres, which you can see here. So you have racing game, adventure game, skill game at the top, and you have puzzle game. I'm going to explain what these things are at the top, okay? And then you have puzzle game as well, which isn't marked anywhere in here. But so we have 2 racing games that are in our contracts. You can look at the payment and the bonus. Payment is what they will give you at the start of a game as down payment for your expenses on the game. So basically, for making a game, you're going to use a bit of money every time. About 30,000 this early on. Right now, it's 30,000 to make a game. And if you can see payment plus bonus right now, that's about 56. That's pretty good. Or here, even more, you know, that's 60,000. So well, that's pretty good. That's nice. And these 3 that you are starting with every time now, by the way, they have balanced the game out so that now every time you start the game with 3 contracted games to make, which is something that was very good for me because it was impossible to start a game well in legendary game mode for like a week before they fixed the bug that was in there as well. So there you go. And so that's basically it for this. I'm going to explain the contracted games a bit more in detail in a bit. But right now, as you can see, the tasks is just a circle. When the circle is completed, you get a few points. Randomly generated points according to your stat. It can go up to a certain number. Probably around 2 for this, because it's probably 0.1 per point. I don't exactly know how it works that, but it might be like that. But there we go. So we have done 1 task. We're doing the second right now. You can speed up the game to ×2. There we go. So that was 2 things done. And so you have, as I said, 4 genres. Racing, adventure, puzzle, and skill. Those 4 will always be there at the start of the game and none other. In the first year, after the first year, in 1977, you will unlock a 5th genre, which is role-playing game. But right now, let me explain here at the top. So these are the trends. There's a positive trend and a negative trend. If you look at info and history, you could look at popularity of genres. This will give you the stats for each genre. As you can see, skill game is marked as unpopular right now, puzzle game on 50%, adventure on 75%, and racing on trend. Trend is 100%, okay? So what that means is that everyone is interested in racing games. Well, the most interested is in racing games. The second most interested in is adventure, and the least as interested is skill game. So what this means is that you will get many less sales when you go with skill game. I know that was not English. You will get way less when you go with skill game than if you went with racing game. However, there is another difference that I will explain that may make this be wrong early on like this. At least puzzle game could give you much more than racing at that point. Maybe not skill game, but at least puzzle game can give you more than racing right now. And I'll explain why. Not now, but I'll explain why. So those were the gameplay features that were done. Then you have engine features to unlock as well. You have some miscellaneous things. So miscellaneous, I won't explain this now because that won't be too important right now. But then you have hardware and console features that are locked because you don't have exactly what is needed in miscellaneous to unlock these. Then you have topics. They are numerous. More numerous than in Game Tycoon now. Yep, that's 212, knowing that you start with 4 as well. So you have 216. If you look at here, oh, 3, sorry. So you have 215. But there you go. So I'm going to search a topic which is going to work with a racing game. Every topic in the game has things that it is good with and bad with. Imagine the amount of time that they spent on that. But so you can go with cars for a racing game. Of course you could go with cars. So there you go. This is what we're going to do. For a racing game, you just go with cars. And as I say, again, you just go through the thing, through the ring, and every time it's going to give you a bit of advancement on that percentage. And also, it gives a little bit of stats. As you can see, my character was on 20.0, you know, base 20, and now he's on 20.1. So doing tasks increases the amount of stats that you have very slightly, very, very slightly. Same for this one, but it's very, very slight.